You ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were too emotionally dependent on the person and you couldn't be your own person?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Dear Thoughts. I have a guest here with me today, Naomi. She's into literature writing, and today we'll be talking about why do people mistake emotional dependence for love. So there are five cards here.
Hmm.
Each card has two questions, but there are two special cards that has nothing written on it.
Okay.
If you pick a card that's empty, you ask me whatever question comes to your own mind.
Okay.
But if you pick a card that asks a question, you will I will ask you whatever is written on it.
Okay.
Pick one.
What's the front of the book? Oh, there's nothing
Nothing.
on it. Okay.
So yeah, you asked me one.
That's the end question. Okay. How have you ever been in a relationship where you felt like you were too emotionally dependent on the person and you couldn't be your own person?
Mm, yes, I'll say one of my past relationships. Let me just say the last one was like a 70-30 love, like emotional dependence 70%. Like I was not myself in the
Okay.
relationship. I just like they were my old existence.
So you couldn't do anything else outside of the person.
Yes,
So how did you
it
realize
was not
that you
like
were
that.
actually emotionally dependent on this person?
Probably whenever they are sad, I automatically feel sad, and I'm like,
Okay.
this thing be like spiritual problem.
Valid.
but yes, after we ended things, I was
Mm-hmm.
reflecting, and I was like, doing what are you basically like to do? This is so yeah, that's it.
Okay. Mm.
Aha.
Okay.
Yes. So the first question is, what does love mean to you?
Uh, well, personally, I would say as a firstborn child and daughter, I would say love means actions and accountability.
Mm,
Like, I don't want to have to mother you or baby you or just be hearing words without, the action to back it up,
yeah.
And in as much as this sounds very petty, I don't want to come home and, the kitchen is dirty, the room is dirty, and then you tell me, oh, you've been sleeping or something. Like,
Mm.
personally, Magby, I will hit you. Unfortunately, don't hit people, guys. Don't do that,
Don't
guys.
eat
Don't
people.
hit people. That's bad. But yeah, love means action. Love means accountability. Love means being a
Yeah,
grown up.
yeah,
Love means having your own sense of reasoning
yeah.
without people being able to influence you to
Mm,
do things.
mm.
And love also means, money. Have some cash. Have some money. Please don't be broke. I'm begging you. I cannot. So yes.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. Since we spoke about that, let's get into the topic right now.
Okay.
So it is, why do people mistake emotional dependence for love? What do you think about that?
As in the cause, like why people do it.
Yeah, why do you feel like is a common reason that most of us feel?
I feel like if you don't have a sense of self, you would depend on someone else for that. Which
Mm,
is why I am personally an advocate for don't date until you're above 19.
mm,
Because prior to that, you don't have a frontal lobe, you don't have anything you're doing in your life. You're probably coming from your mommy's kitchen every single day. You live with your parents, you don't know anything, you've not worked, you've not done anything for yourself.
mm,
And then you go into a relationship because one boy or one girl or whatever told you, oh, I like you. Like, no, like that doesn't make any sense
yeah,
personally. And I feel like a lot of people are very emotionally dependent on someone else when they've had trauma, when they've had like family upbringing that wasn't the best. So, the first person that will show them an ounce of respect or love,
mm,
they automatically latch onto that person. So I think that those are kind of like the main
yeah.
reasons why.
So you stated um the underdevelopment of the frontal lobe could
Yeah.
be a factor,
Hmm.
and the fact that
If you're not properly developed or fully developed
yeah,
mentally, you
yeah,
should not be in a relationship. Yes.
yeah. And you mentioned something about us being 19 before getting into a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, I think like yes, as an African, why are you in a relationship when you're not 19 yet?
Well, regardless of what you are, frontal develops when I think when you're about
25?
25.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're 19, you're in uni.
Mm,
Personally, I started uni when I was 15. So personally,
yeah.
that's a whole different concept. But I feel like when you're 19,
Mm,
you've left your parents' house, you've probably had a job at some point, you've probably eaten Indomie 5 times a week because
mm,
you had no money to buy food.
mm,
You've gone to classes, you suffered to a good extent,
yeah.
and you can kind of say, okay, yes, I want to do this, yes, I don't want to do this. So I feel like you would know what you want and what you don't want
Mm.
in a relationship, because half of the reasons that people are emotionally dependent is because they don't know what they don't want. Like you don't know what you don't like, so you take anything. So I think so.
That was good. And another factor you mentioned, you said it could be a trauma response.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, most of us we were built in this kind of family dynamics where probably the father or the mother wasn't too
Mm-hmm.
emotionally like connected to the
A
children.
basic Nigerian's
Yeah.
law upbringing, yeah.
Yes. It's like as if you just have to bring yourself
Mm-hmm.
up in African home.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's talk about like let's assume someone is in their grieving state
Mm-hmm.
and one time probably an ex or a love of her life
Mm-hmm.
goes back into her life,
Mm-hmm.
and then she just automatically feel like,
Is
oh,
this about you?
I feel like grief is
Mm-hmm.
a factor that could make somebody emotionally dependent.
Like I said, trauma, grief is a form of trauma though.
Yeah.
So if you're going through something traumatic, and obviously with personally, I've been experiencing grief for the past year. So I
Mm,
understand the concept of when you're experiencing grief,
mm,
you want to, be with the closest person that can give you that form of comfort and
mm,
love and whatever. And which, if not careful, you can be much dependent on that person, even when you don't mean to, even when you're in a relationship. So I feel like grief could definitely put yourself in that kind of position, which is why again I'm personally, if I
mm,
am grieving or if I'm going through that process,
mm,
I try to make sure that in as much as I'm going through this thing, I don't
mm,
want to grieve and then, now put myself in an emotional state where I now start grieving somebody that is still alive, if that makes sense. Because when that
yeah.
relationship now scatters, you now start grieving that relationship. You have to be going through the whole process all over again. You have to go
Mm,
through heartbreak.
mm.
And in some bad situations, that person can now start taking advantage of you. It
Yeah.
can now turn something that is toxic and something that would harm you and something that
Yeah.
would, put you in a very, very bad space even while you're grieving.
Mm.
So I feel
It's
like grief
it's
could personally
Yeah, I think
valid.
I think what you mentioned now could be like if we use the words that we use now, it could be like you're probably obsessed with the other person.
But I feel like you'd be obsessed if you don't have anything you're doing in your life. I
Yes.
feel like you need hobbies. Like don't go into a relationship without having a job or a
Mm,
hobby. Because if
mm,
you're less busy 24 hours of the day, obviously waiting for the person to text you, oh, they didn't text me, I'm sad. They didn't call me, I'm sad. If you
mm,
have a hobby and you're busy, where's the time to do that? If you have an 8 hour job, when you go to work and you come back and you're hungry and tired, where's the
mm-hmm,
time to think, oh, somebody's child did not call me
mm-hmm,
or text me?
mm-hmm.
So don't be in a relationship if you don't have a job or a hobby
Yes.
or multiple hobbies. Who knows?
Yeah, and I was going to say like most of the people, like let me just say, I cannot say most of us, but I feel like according to like everything I see on TikTok right now, most people are not actually in a relationship. They're actually in a situationship where
Mm-hmm.
they feel like they are depending on if this person has texted me in the morning or I'm delivered
Mm-hmm.
4 hours ago and their life is just all about that person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like as if they don't have anything to do. I'm like those people have anything to do with your life because their emotions is really like I don't know, their feelings is determined on how long the person left them unread
Mm-hmm.
or how long or who other person is talking to. And I'm like, is that also like an emotional dependence?
It is, and please go touch grass. Genuinely, please go touch grass. If somebody hasn't responded, people have lives. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing I have noticed as someone who took a few psychology classes, and that is what my primary full time job is about,
Mm.
people who tend to be emotionally dependent on other people, the person who they're depending on usually has a life. So because you don't have a life, you start feeling inferior to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't call me, you didn't text me, where have you been? Where have you been doing this? Hello, I
Yeah,
have a life. Just because you don't doesn't mean I don't have to have a life as well.
true.
And again, like I said, if you're busy, if you have things to do, if you have a job, if you have bills to pay, you will not be thinking about they left me on red for 3 hours. People
Mm.
have jobs, people have lives. Now, I'm not saying being in a relationship where the person doesn't make time for you, but at the same time, if you know the person you're with obviously has again, people have like has a thing outside of you. They have a job, they have a
Yeah,
hobby, they have anything
yeah.
they're doing. If they leave you undelivered for 2 hours, 2 hours is a very considerate time, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
People have things they're doing. I could be asleep. I feel like sleeping is a very valuable reason to not respond to you.
Yes,
In my book,
so
sleeping is a very valuable reason. I like to sleep. I don't like to be awake, personally
mm-hmm.
speaking. But if you have things you're doing as a person, you're also developing yourself and growing. I don't
Mm.
think anyone wants to reach their mid 20s realizing that they don't have job experience, they have nothing to do with themselves. You can't actually
Yeah.
come out and say, oh, this is what I've done, this is what I've accomplished, this is what I'm planning to do.
Mm-hmm.
So if you constantly live your life and live your sole purpose on, oh, this boy, this girl, this person, that
Mm-hmm.
person, you
Mm-hmm.
won't grow in life. And then when that person breaks up with you, which is why people have such hard breakups, because you were so much dependent on them, you were so financially dependent on them, you were so dependent on them that once they now break up with you, you feel like your life is in shambles. Your life is not in shambles. It could be because you didn't develop anything,
Yeah.
but they broke up with you because they realized that you were not sourcing them, you were not fulfilling them,
Yeah.
and
And this, you said something about some people can, is actually a valid thing for somebody to go offline for like 2 hours.
yes, it is.
And there's this thing that's been on a, like a trend, like if it can, it will. So I don't
If it
know.
see now,
Um
if they can, they will.
and they said no one is busy for you. It's like it's, and what I'm actually thinking is that if you have a job, like a constant job, you know you're always
Mm-hmm.
busy. You
Mm-hmm.
like your sleep. People like me, I like my
Mm-hmm.
sleep. And I feel like if I'm busy with assignments, if I'm busy with probably going to work fresh, for how many
Mm-hmm.
hours job, I feel like I should not actually be in a relationship for that because I'm not able to give my
Juggling.
partner
Exactly. And
the
my
attention.
understanding of the concept of if they can, they will.
Yeah.
If they can means, are they able to give you that attention? Do they have the resources to do that?
Yes.
In 24 hours of the day, personally, if I have 8 hours of work, I
Hmm.
have about 16 hours left or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know math, my bad if that math doesn't make sense. But you go to work for 8 hours.
Hmm.
If you sleep for an average person sleeps for about 60 hours. So if you sleep for about 6 hours, you go to work for 8 hours,
Mm-hmm.
you have a hobby that you do for 2 hours. Let's say you have about, I don't know, 8 hours left into your day or 10 hours left into your day.
Hmm.
If I can take 4 hours of my day to text you, now that 4 hours doesn't have to be at a stretch. It can be broken into pieces.
Yeah.
And aside from that, if you too you're also busy as a person, you won't really be
You
thinking,
know.
oh, you will not be counting the seconds and the minutes. Oh, you need to back for 24 minutes and 22 seconds. Haba. Please go touch grass. That's my favorite thing to say. Go touch grass.
Do you know what I was thinking now? The audience, you know what I was thinking? I felt like if Naomi had told me this thing, let me just say 3 months ago, I would not they cry. But yes, mental health has helped my
Because
life. I
it's
know all these
very
things.
it is very important to have a
Yeah.
life outside of people. It's important to have a life as a person.
Mm.
And relationship does not just mean you people are kissing each other. It can be platonic, it can be family relationships, it can be anything.
Yeah.
Please have a life as a person. You need a life, you need a job, you need a career, you need to be a
Mm-hmm.
person.
Mm-hmm.
Same concept as don't get married or don't have kids without being a person. What are you doing with your life?
Egg
Please, please.
conduct.
Sorry. Sorry guys, that's a
So
bit that's a bit harsh. My
yes,
bad. My
yes,
bad,
yes,
yo.
yes. But I feel like Naomi said everything. Or I didn't know what to ask her. She already answered everything. So it's like, yeah, thank you, Naomi, for coming.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate this.
Love and light.